What's going on, guys? It's Kyle. Welcome to the Stock Goat YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be covering the SoFi stock. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. Make sure to do your due diligence before making any moves inside of the stock market. That being said, we have an incredible video for you today. I'm telling you guys right now, the S&P 500 inclusion for SoFi is extremely close. We are down to 11 companies, and we're going to be giving you guys the full breakdown of how close SoFi truly is right now. All I need you guys to do is smash the like button. Let's try and get the video over 2,000 likes. Don't forget to drop a comment. I'm going to be commenting back to as many people as I can. What kind of moves are you making right now? Where do you see SoFi finishing out the year? And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll be keeping you updated with all the breaking news on the SoFi stock. So guys, the market's been a little bit volatile right now. We all know that. You're getting confusion about December rate cuts, the probability going up and down. You're seeing a lot of job losses out there. Talks about inflation, never going away, continuing to be sticky. But all that has correlated into a short-term correction. If you actually look at the NASDAQ, it did correct Friday morning about 6.5%. I would have loved to got the 10% correction, but it's just not a guarantee. If a 10% correction is going to happen, it's probably going to happen this week. But hey, a 6.5% cool off going into the end of the year, that's what I love to see. And I continue to double down on days like Thursday and Friday when you saw SoFi down, 12% on Thursday and another 6.5% down Friday morning. Just nonstop volatility. But understand, institutional ownership continues to go up. So this stock is going to continue to make higher and higher highs. But guys, we got an incredible video for you today. I'm going to show you everything that happened in this last quarter as far as institutional ownership, the probability that we're getting into the S&P 500 inclusion in December, and also, 2026, the probability, price targets we could potentially see towards the, end of the year and towards 2026 end of the year. So a lot of great things in this video. Be sure to smash the like button, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into the video. All right, guys, as you can see, the S&P 500 inclusion is right around the corner. I posted this yesterday, so we're at 19 days. I believe the day is December 5th, and you need to realize the S&P 500 inclusion, it's different each and every single, quarter of the inclusion. Sometimes they add one company, sometimes they add two companies, sometimes they add three companies, sometimes they even add four companies. So the more companies that get added in this December inclusion, the higher probability that SoFi gets in. So I think, if we do get that 3 to 4 company inclusion, I think SoFi will be included. But if it's just 1 or 2, I don't think we're going to, hit the mark that time. Now, remember, guys, we are at this level right now because we've met all the requirements as far as profitability, revenue growth rates, and market cap requirements, guys. I'm telling you, the fundamentals are changing before our eyes. Just look at the last quarter. 37% growth, 100% plus on net income, diluted EPS up 100%, net profit margin up 66%. If these fundamentals continue, what you need to bet on management that it is going to continue, 2026 is going to be an insane year for SoFi, and you're going to see numbers just continue to grow. This company is going to continue to become a monster very, very quickly. So as you guys can see, as of the last quarter, that's why you're seeing the stock hover around the $28 to $30 range right now, and we're not continuing to, go down further. So here it is, guys. Goldman Sachs Global Investment Research makes lists of top 15 companies eligible for S&P 500 inclusion. Robinhood, Interactive Brokers, AppLovin, and Omcor all got in recently. So this gives us 11 companies left. And I actually removed the companies that just got included. And you can see we have 11 companies, but 6 out of the 11 are financial. So guys, this is what we have come down to right here. 11 companies eligible for December. It's either going to be 1, 2, 3, or 4 companies included, okay? Now, right now, the top 4 I could say is going to be Carvana, Viva, and Vertiv. These are probably the top 3 just going off of like market cap. And then SoFi is the second largest financial company, okay, out of the, 6. So we're at the second highest level right now behind only 1. So a lot of things could happen over the next, 3 weeks. The market caps could really change, but understand right now, there's a high probability, 2 to 3 companies are going to get in inside of December. Now, I want you guys to take a look at this. Breaking news. SoFi is now valued higher than 4 recent companies that just entered S&P 500 on market cap. Look at this, guys. Expand Energy, Omcor, Williams-Sonoma, Trade Desk. SoFi is valued higher than all of these companies. They already got included in the past couple of inclusions over the last, 6 to 12 months. 20 billion, 22 billion, 27 billion, 28 billion. SoFi's 33 billion right now after a 20% pullback on the stock. So if we go into a, Santa Claus rally, the stock could hover right around, 40 billion once again. And we could be, one of those 3 companies that get entered inside of December 5th. So guys, you can see it is close right now. 11 companies. SoFi's market cap is higher than 5 of those companies at the bottom tier. We are close. We're larger than a bunch of companies that just got in. Now, I want you guys to see this, okay? Take a look at this. We always talk about this $100 stock price that could potentially happen, inside of 2026 if we do get into fairy tale land. But understand, Palantir did get included inside of the S&P 500. September 6, 2024 is when they got the approval. Do you guys actually realize, what the stock was trading at just, 15 months ago in September? Take a look right now. You can see Palantir on September 6 was trading at $30 per share the day they got included inside of the S&P 500. SoFi right now is trading at $28.23. So there's a chance that SoFi could make its way up to $32, $35, be priced higher than Palantir on the stock price before they get inside of the S&P 500. So guys, I'm telling you right now, after the inclusion happened for Palantir, the stock went to $120 5 months later. 30 to 120. That is absolutely insane. That is the type of price action you can get, after an inclusion if you have a company that's executing on fundamentals and has a super strong earnings growth quarter like we've seen in SoFi, and EPS just continues to expand, okay? Yes, there's a lot of other companies that got inside of the S&P 500 inclusion that have had bad earnings, bad growth, bad guidance, and the stocks have sold off massively. That's why you're seeing SoFi higher value than those 4 companies I just showed you that got inside of the S&P 500. But I'm telling you right now, SoFi has the growth trajectory as Palantir. So we can actually get entered inside of the S&P 500 at a higher stock price. But remember, the market caps are totally different because Palantir has doubled the shares. So when Palantir was at $100 per share, the company would be valued around $240 billion market cap at $100 per share. SoFi would only be valued around, 120 billion market cap, okay? So about half the valuation on market cap. But of course, Palantir is a tech company, a software company. It's going to get a higher multiple. But I'm telling you, SoFi's multiple can continue to expand because of their fee-based revenue continuing to go up and their lending revenue overall percentage continues to, go down. So I'm telling you right now, $100 stock price, as you guys can see, it could happen over the next 15 months if SoFi's earnings continue to show massive strength. But as you guys can see, SoFi can enter the S&P 500 at a higher stock price than Palantir. I just wanted to show you guys this, before Palantir went on its, parabolic run from 30 to 120 after the S&P 500 inclusion. Now take a look at this, Palantir Technologies. You take a look and say, what was the institutional ownership at the end of September in 2024 and see what it was before the S&P 500 inclusion happened. It was right around 49%, and then I believe right now it's surged to about 62 to 65%. So a big increase over the past, 15 months. But SoFi's institutional ownership continues to go up gradually as well. Look at this, guys. Over the last, 6 to 8 quarters, 33%, 35, 38, 40, 42, 47, 52%. So it's actually higher institutional ownership than Palantir right now if they were to get included inside of the S&P 500. Actually, with the last earnings that I haven't even done the update yet, it's actually about 55 to 56%. So a lot higher than Palantir's 49% right now. So it just shows you guys more institutional investors are inside of the SoFi stock than the same time that Palantir got inside of the S&P 500. Now I want you guys to realize it's all about fundamentals, of course. I'm just showing you what the stocks are doing right now, but take a look. This is my 3-year revenue estimates on SoFi. I don't want to go too far out and bore you guys 10-year, 5-year, but we're going to take a look at my 3-year estimates. So take a look, guys. I believe SoFi is going to continue to see the same type of compounding that they've had the last 2 quarters, which is around that $100 million jump quarter over quarter. And if we continue to execute, guys, we're looking at $5 billion in revenue for 2026, 39% year-over-year growth. Absolutely insane when you look at analyst estimates right now at 25%. Continue to move on to 2027. I had the exact same type of compounding at $1 billion a quarter. And you can see that's $6.6 billion revenue for 2027, 35% year-over-year growth. And then we move on to 2028. I have the quarter-over-quarter jumps going to $150 million. And you can see that's $8.7 billion for 2028, 32% growth. So absolutely insane compounding. We're not that far off from $10 billion in revenue if SoFi continues to execute, guys. I think the $100 stock price could potentially happen if we get these types of fundamentals right here for next year. This is insane growth. This is faster growth than 99% of the entire software as a service industry in America. I'm telling you, SoFi is executing, and you're about to see growth re-accelerate with Bitcoin, crypto, international money transfers, options trading, level 1 options, Absolutely insane where the management team is headed right now for SoFi. Now, taking a look at institutional ownership, guys, a lot of things have changed, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what changed on this last filing. You can see 4 legacy banks have dumped SoFi. Morgan Stanley decreased ownership by 27%, and you can see Charles Schwab decreased ownership by 17%. Wells Fargo decreased ownership by 16%. Citigroup decreased ownership by 5%. So you can see the legacy banks have sold off, trimmed a little bit on SoFi over this last filing report, but I want you guys to see what's really going on behind the scenes, because not every legacy bank is acting the same right now. So take a look, guys. Institutional filings completed. Someone tell me what just happened. JP Morgan Chase, on top of all these other banks decreasing ownership, including Bank of America at 32% decline, JP Morgan increased ownership by 881%. They literally took every single share sold by these 5 other legacy banks and bought every single share, guys. Absolutely insane the type of, increase that JP Morgan did. But as you guys can see, every single legacy bank is not doing the same thing behind the scenes. I don't know exactly what this means. If they believe in SoFi, they want to, profit for their customers, but you guys need to know JP Morgan made a massive move. And right here, guys, we got 10 out of 10 top whales have completed their filings. As you guys can see, Vanguard increased, Jane Street sold off about half, BlackRock increased, JP Morgan increased, David Shaw increased, Geode increased, UBS decreased, Bank of America decreased, State Street increased, Vola Ridge decrease. So overall, guys, it was an increase in institutional ownership. That's why you're going to see institutional ownership go from 52% to 55%, guys, and we are getting close to the S&P 500 inclusion. So it was a win over this last, filing quarter. But as you guys can see, it's getting very close to this S&P 500 inclusion. We're down to 11 companies right now eligible for this December 5th. It just depends on if 2, 3, 4 companies are going to get in. And as you guys can see, Tom Lee's Fundstrat has added $100 million to SoFi in their Fundstrat Granny Shots US Large Cap ETF. Granny, and understand, they've only selected 42 companies out of the entire stock market. That's 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 companies. SoFi was selected as one of Tom Lee's 42 companies inside of their index, guys. So that is very awesome. It's showing you that SoFi management team is continuing to show diversification, becoming a technology company, and we're getting inside it. The Granny Shots ETF, Tom Lee's at it, JP Morgan's at it, and you can see overall institutional ownership is continuing to go up. If you made it to the end of the video, I want to say I really do appreciate it. I enjoyed doing this video for you. We're going to continue to keep you updated on all the breaking news with the SoFi stock. Be sure to smash the like button, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. We'll be keeping you updated daily. Hope you guys have a great day.